Hey friends, it's quickie time, and if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Betty, and this is the Well-Rounded Workshop. Remember that bench I dragged home from the dump site? You may remember this clip. We just came out for a little drive and we see someone dumped a bunch of garbage, and this is what we like to do, or I like to do. I pick through and see if there's something that I can do something with, and I see this bench, or I don't know exactly what it is, but it appears to be real wood. Nice little design on it. I don't know what I could do with it, but the wood appears to be in pretty good shape. I think I'll take it and maybe I can do something with it. Well, she's back and I'm in the shop using that bench. Yes, the same one I used for my Cocoa Caddy. And today I'm turning it into a nice big rustic tray for my coffee table. It's a simple, beginner-friendly build and proof that old wood still cleans up real nice. So first, I gotta get this taken apart, run these boards through the planer, because there's quite a wanger in it. In some cases, wangers are good. In this case, not so much. So hopefully I can get that out enough to use. If not, it's on to plan B. So let's get to work. All right, I'm just gonna get this flipped over. And we're gonna get these screws out. Two. There we go. It's coming apart pretty easy. Right. So let's see what we got here. It's not too bad. So now I gotta get these out. I'm gonna knock these out and get this board off. I hate seeing good wood go to waste. There's something special about giving old wood a second life. Looks like I need a little more persuasion, so I got my dead blow. That didn't take much. Perfect. Let's lay this down flat. Yeah, this board definitely has a wanger in it. And unlike some things around here, I definitely got to get this board flat. I planed these boards down on both sides. It looks like we got a nice white oak under here. This one's pretty good. This board still has a little wobble to it. I'm gonna get them measured down to the size I need, and I'm gonna run them through the planer again. There's really no sense in me trying to straighten out something I'm not even gonna use. So I'm gonna give myself a fresh edge here. So I'm gonna measure out 26 inches for this tray. All right, so I'm going to go over to the miter saw, get these chopped down, and then back to the planer. And of course, like always, safety first. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut the width down to what I want. Now I'm going to take them over to the table saw and cut off this old tongue and groove. So that way when I glue them back together, they'll fit properly. I never thought I'd be someone who used a table saw, but here we are. So this is the Craig jig that I'm going to be using, and if you're new to woodworking, a Craig jig just makes life easier. It helps you drill angled pocket holes so you can pull two boards together nice and tight with special screws. The one I'm using here is an older model, but it still gives you the same strong results as the newer ones. She may be older, kind of like myself, but she works just fine. Depending on the thickness of your material, you'll have to adjust the Craig jig to accommodate it. So because my material is 5/8 of an inch, I'm going to have to adjust my Craig jig. See on the side of the jig here, it says 5/8. So I have to lower this jig down to that 5/8 mark and then tighten it up on the side here. So to create a pocket hole, we need to use a special step drill bit. So now I have to adjust this sliding stop, and that's going to ensure that my drill tip doesn't go clear out the other side of my material, and we don't want that. So the Craig jig has a convenient guide on the base plate that helps you determine where your sliding stop should be placed. So I'm going to put my step drill bit onto this guide, bring it up to the 5/8 mark, and then I'm going to slide the sliding stop into place. It won't go any farther when you got it in the right spot. And then I'm going to grab my wrench and I'm just going to snug it up. So because we're using a hardwood here, I'm going to use a fine thread pocket hole screw. And because my material is 5/8 of an inch thick, you can use either 1 inch or 1 1/4 inch screw. I'm going with 1 1/4. All right. Yes. Woo, woo, woo. So, got my lines all marked out for where I'm going to put my pocket hole screws. And fun fact, pocket hole screws along with glue are 56% stronger than wooden biscuits. So basically you just pick one of these. I'm going to go with B for Betty. I'm going to line up my lines, use my little lever, get it into place, and now it's locked in. I'm ready to go. I got all the pocket holes in. Now I'm ready to get it assembled. So I'm going to put some glue on here. I'm still learning as I go. Some screws go in straight, some not so much. But that's kind of how life works too. You just keep adjusting until everything tightens up. So this is the back side. I have all the pocket holes filled in with these plugs. I'm just going to put the last one in here. A little tool that helps push it in. And then I use my wood fill and filled the old holes, and I'll get all this sand down tomorrow. Okay. I got all the plugs sanded down the back of my tray. Turned out great. And now, flipping it over, everything is dry and the base of this tray is starting to really come together. Really liking how it's looking. Because the edges are really quite sharp, I'm going to bring them over to the router table and just get a finished edge put on them. So I got the edge routered here, just a slight profile, cleans it up a bit and it's not as sharp. Now, you may remember these. These used to be the feet off that old bench. Well, now they're going to be the handles to my tray. They do need a lot of work though, so I'm going to need to go to the table saw to get this rounded edge off. I'm going to need to do the chop saw to get them cut down to length. Run them through the planer a few times just to thin them up a little bit. And then also my favorite tool, the drill press. I'm going to put like a little, kind of a half circle here, give myself a better grip for this tray. So I just ran these through the table saw. I got a nice flat edge, and now I'm going to run them through the planer. Taking off just enough to make her look good again. Story of my life. I got my handles cut down to length, and now I'm going to use this 4 1/4 inch hole saw on my drill press to profile the handles. I'm going to give these handles a good sand, and then I'll get them assembled. So I'm just going to do a countersink on the back of this tray so I can get the handles assembled. Good. So I got the holes countersunk on the back, and now I'm going to use a number 8 by 1.5 stainless steel screw. Got the handles all assembled, starting to look really nice. These boards were part of that old bench as well, and I'm going to rip them down, and I'm going to try to use them just for a small side piece on the tray. I got my pieces cut to height. Now I just need to get them cut to length. So I'm just going to measure them out here, set them down. Perfect. Bring them over to the miter saw. It's funny, the more projects I do, the more confident I get. Turns out all I needed was a drill, a little patience, and the willingness to screw things up a few times. I get everything assembled for the tray, and it is coming together absolutely beautiful. My only dilemma is, how am I going to finish it? Am I going to go with the natural, the light, or am I going to use the early American, the darker one that I love? And of course I'm going to use the gloss clear coat, but I'm going to figure it out tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow for the final reveal. And here it is, friends. I ended up going with the early American stain, and I absolutely love it. Our soft ottoman coffee table is great for putting up our feet, but not so great for snacks and drinks. This tray gives us a nice, solid surface for all of that while we relax and watch our favorite YouTube channels. So there you have it, one beautiful rustic tray from the last of that beat-up old bench I rescued from the dump site. I really want to thank everyone who subscribed, liked, and commented. It takes a lot to make these videos, so it means a lot to know there are actually people out there watching them. Hope to see you back next week. My upcoming project is going to be sweet. Until then, keep your wood old, your projects bold, and remember, leftover wood can be sexy. You just have to know how to work it. See you next time.